Largely thought of as a one-hit wonder, the band Semisonic would be best known for the song Closing Time. To be fair, they would have some international success with several other songs. While Closing Time's lyrics would lead one to think the track is written about being asked to leave a bar, it actually has a double meaning. You guys may be also shocked to learn that the song almost never made it onto radio. Let's discuss all of that in today's video. Semisonic would be formed in Minneapolis in 1995 and be made up of guitarist and vocalist Dan Wilson, bassist and multi-instrumentalist John Munson, and drummer Jacob Slichter. Munson and Wilson had previously played together in a group called Trip Shakespeare, which had broken up. Semisonic would spend their early days playing gigs in the Midwest club circuit and put out an EP before getting a major label deal with MCA, who would put out their debut LP in 1996 titled Great Divide. While the release won the band much critical praise, it was a commercial failure. As the band hit the studio to write what would be their breakout and second album, Feeling Strangely Fine, it proved to be a good creative time for the band while the members dealt with professional and personal challenges. MCA wanted a hit record this time around, and it was during the making of the album, Wilson's wife, who was pregnant with their first daughter, dealt with complications during her pregnancy and went into labor 2 months early. She would spend several months in the hospital while Wilson's bandmates and producer offered to postpone recording sessions. Wilson, however, continued to work in the studio between hospital visits to see his wife and new child. It would be the birth of his daughter and the band's live shows that served as the inspiration for the song Closing Time. Up until this point, Semisonic had always ended their concerts with the same tune called If I Run, something that didn't sit well with the group's drummer and bassist. So Wilson took on a challenge to write a new set closer, revealing to American Songwriter, "I set out to write a new closer for the set, and I just thought, oh, closing time," because all the bars that would frequent in Minneapolis, they would yell out closing time. There was one bar where a guy would always scream really loud, "You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here," and I guess that always stuck in my mind. Partway into writing of the song, I realized it was also about being born. My wife and I were expecting our first kid very soon after I wrote that song. He would add to Mojo magazine, "It's all about being born and coming into the world, seeing the bright lights, cutting the cord, opening up into something deeper and more universal." Upon completing their second album and turning it into their label, MCA were disappointed with what they heard because they didn't hear a hit song. However, the band's A&R man at the label, Hans Heydelt, would reveal to Recoup.com, "When they handed in Feeling Strangely Fine, it blew me away. I just knew we had a massive successful record on our hands with a majority of the songs worthy of being radio singles. Closing Time would be a hit. Jay Boberg, the label president, didn't have a discerning ear when it came to recognizing hits. He'd misjudged the Great Divide, so we really weren't surprised to hear the label say they didn't hear any hits, and that we needed to go back into the studio to record more songs. Jim Grant, their manager, held firm. I held firm. We weren't going to do that." The band's luck would change when MCA brought in a woman named Nancy Levin, who was the new head of radio promotion. She would go to the label's president and would be quoted as saying, "What the are you talking about? There's a hit here. Closing Time will be a smash." On the eve of releasing Closing Time as the lead single from the record, Wilson would recall to Billboard a conversation he had with Levin, revealing, "She said, 'Are you excited?' And I said, 'No, why?' And she goes, 'Because the song is going to be huge.' And I said, 'Well, I don't know that. How do we know that?' She was really annoyed with me, not because I was being a killjoy, but she thought it was plainly obvious that the record was going to be huge, and I was just assuming it would be just like the last one." As for Closing Time, it would top the alternative rock charts in America and had crossover success, peaking at number 8 on the top 40 charts. The song soon earned the band a Grammy nomination for Best Rock Song, and the success of the single pushed their second album to go platinum, selling over 1 million copies. The singles Singing in My Sleep and Secret Smell would also have some modest success in the US and farewell overseas. The band's A&R man would reveal that some at the group's label were openly hostile to Semisonic, even bad-mouthing the group and chalking up their success to luck. The band and their label clashed for their follow-up record 2001's All About Chemistry, which failed to produce a radio hit as big as Closing Time. They were soon dropped by their label, and the band would split up before reforming several times in the subsequent years. Closing Time would end up having a lasting legacy on alternative rock radio, as many stations who would change their formats would frequently play the song as a way of saying goodbye to their audiences. As for the group's second album, it would see a 20th anniversary reissue, and Semisonic most recently have put out their latest EP in 2020 and have released a few new singles. As for Wilson, he's a pretty accomplished songwriter, working with numerous artists including Taylor Swift, Dixie Chicks, Weezer, Keith Urban, Josh Groban, and The Bravery, to name a few. Closing Time would make Rolling Stone's list of the 20 most annoying songs, ranking at number 19. Let me know in the comments section if you guys agree with that. That concludes today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to suggest stories for me to cover in the future, hit the link in the description box below, and we'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories.